Hey everybody, I'm Rick. You know me as Illinois Ghost. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 tips on helping you find the Forrest Fenn treasure. If you're new to my videos, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on the link down here in the right hand corner of your screen. Doesn't matter if you're a long-time searcher or if you're new to the thrill of the chase. The treasure is still out there waiting to be found. And here are my top 10 tips that may help you be the finder in 2019. Let's get started, guys. Now I'm not going to go into great detail on these tips because I could probably do a video series on each and every one of them. But anyway, here we go. Tip number 1. Believe. Guys, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that this is something that you can do and something that you can accomplish. You have to trust yourself and trust your instincts. You're going to have to take a risk. And when I mean take a risk, I'm not saying about going out on a cliff face or trying to cross a raging river or anything like that. When I say take a risk, I'm talking about taking a chance. You have to decide and that this is something that you're going to do. It's a decision that you have to make when you decide, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick this out to the end until I find it or until somebody else finds it. You know, sometimes in order to life to be successful, you have to take a chance. Think about how old you are right now. How many times has an opportunity like this presented itself to you? Here we go. Tip number 2. Action, guys. You got to take a massive amount of action. It's about being productive, not non-productive. If you're sitting home watching TV and video games all day, you're being non-productive. But if you're sitting there and you're reading The Thrill of the Chase, or you're trying to do some kind of research, going over topo maps, something like that, trying to figure out a solution, now you're taking action. Okay, guys, this next one is a big one, and it's a problem that many people suffer from. Here we go. Tip number 3. Procrastination and self-sabotage. I put these two together because they go hand in hand. They're like bread and butter. Guys, do not do this to yourself. Don't put things off. As soon as you start putting things off, you're talking yourself out of a decision that you made. Don't do the what ifs to yourself either. When you start doing what if this was to happen on my trip, well, you're worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. And you're talking yourself out of your own decision. Remember, I said you have to trust yourself. Another big factor and a big cause for self-sabotage and procrastination is family. That's right, family. Brothers, sisters, parents telling you what you can afford, what you can't afford, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Guys, don't let other people start making the decisions for you. Trust yourself. This next one's a simple one, guys. Here we go. Tip number 4. Research, guys. You got to do your research. Purchase The Thrill of the Chase. I don't think you're going to be able to solve this treasure hunt without having it. Even though I know there's tons of information on YouTube, there's tons of information online, I believe you actually need to have the physical book in order to solve this treasure hunt. Also, understanding. Understand what you're reading. It's good reading comprehension. If you read something and you don't understand it, go back and read it again. Be sure that you understand what it is Forrest is trying to tell you in these stories. It's the same thing that goes with any of the voice recordings you hear of Forrest online. If you don't understand what Forrest is actually saying in these recordings, go back and listen to them again. Okay, guys, here's tip number 5. Ask yourself questions, guys. Let your brain do the work. You get the world's best supercomputer right up here in your head, your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind remembers everything you've ever seen, read, or heard. So when you ask yourself questions, you send your brain on a journey searching for the information. And it will find an answer. It will give you an answer. And when it comes to you, it's going to be one of those ah moments, you know. But the important thing is when that moment comes to you, that's where my next tip will come into play. Okay, guys, here's tip number 6. Write it down. When you have a thought or an idea come to you, write it down before you forget. Chances are, if you don't write it down, later on, you're going to struggle trying to remember. You know, thoughts will come to you at the strangest and most unopportune times, and you won't even be expecting it. You won't even be thinking about the treasure when these things happen. So you got to take a pause, make a note of the thought or the idea that you just had, so that you do not forget. Also, it's important to make like a boots on the ground list. This goes back to like tip number 5, asking yourself questions. You know, the what ifs. What if I was go to search this spot and it's not where I thought it was? Pre-ask yourself these questions before you even go out. Write down a list, put a list in your pocket, take it with you on your search. Tip number 7. Look it up. If you don't know the definition to a word or the meaning of a word, look it up. Many of these words have multiple meanings and multiple definitions. Forrest even tells you that when he wrote the poem, he looked up each and every word. It'd be wise for us to do the same. Here's tip number 8. Listen. Forrest even tells you to listen good in the poem. You know, he writes these scrapbooks and stuff for a reason. You know, you need to understand what he's telling you and what he's showing you. That brings me to tip number 9. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend this one, but there is some value to it. That's reading the forums, guys. If you read the forums, you never know what somebody's going to say. You don't have to comment and you don't have to get caught up in all the drama, but reading it is always wise. And last but not least, everybody, tip number 10. Safety. Be safety conscious, guys. Be aware of the dangers. Be aware of the things that you're doing, where you're doing it, and how you're doing it. Know your limits. If you've ever written Forrest before, most likely he's responded with a comment of don't overextend yourself. Things that will put you out of the hunt is if you get injured or worse. Well, that's my top 10 tips, everybody. I hope they help you. They seem pretty simple and basic, right? But you'd be surprised how many people don't implement those simple 10 tips. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. Ring that bell so you'll be notified of my upcoming videos. Thank you.